Record now. Hang on, it's gonna go live in a second. I love how this is gonna have my face on front of it. I really hate that first. Okay. Yay, I think we're live. Cool. I'm gonna shut up now.
So should I just start now?
Yep, so you're good. Just go ahead and you're good. Go ahead and start. Sorry about that. I probably should have given you more. Like, by the way, start talking now. Good job.
That's fine. I just didn't know if I was still waiting.
No, you're good.
What's happening at 6? It's gonna be a really boring couple minutes.
What's happening?
AMA with Goose. Okay, so Claire, wonderful Claire. Okay, so these are the plates that I'm using. They're called A plates or tombstone plates, and they are A8 plates because they have 8 holes in them. They're made of 6061 T6 aluminum alloy, which is stronger than traditional aluminum, and they've also been hardened and treated, so they should be aluminum armor traditionally gets -2 because it is both lighter and less protective than iron or steel. This will get -1 because it's lighter, but it won't get the additional -1 because it's less protective. So when I finish this, it'll be a 5 points of armor instead of 6. It'll also get the superior gauge because they are 16 gauge, and it will get the superior overlap. So when you're doing this, the curved part should be facing upwards. That's why they're called A plates or tombstone plates. That will be facing upwards. And when you're connecting them, you can either melt and flatten. I'm using 550 paracord. Some people use other paracord or leather. So you can flatten and melt the paracord, but I just tighten a knot because if I ever need to relace, it's easier to untie and unlace and relace that way. So when you're lacing it, you want to start from the top right here, push that through, and then add a second plate. It'll be the opposite side on the top. Isn't the best melting job, but there we go. They just layer on top of each other, and then you should be able to go through both of the bottom ones at the same time because they're already lined up.
Hey, quick question. Where'd you buy your plates from?
It's a place called Elves Ford, like FJORD, and it was a bulk order of 500 plates. So on one side, it should look like this, where this will be the front, or at least what I'm using as the front, and it'll just look like just little. On the left side, it'll be a just line, and then the right side will be covered by the next plate. And on the back, it'll be diagonal. Some people don't do the diagonal, and they do straight across. But not only does this look more uniform, supposedly it's stronger. I don't have any evidence to support that other than I've heard it's stronger, but there you go. So you just keep going, diagonal, and then to the top. Add the next plate. back to the bottom. Let's grab my lighter. Lighten this a little bit. So, sorry about that, technical difficulties.
You
You're
good?
good. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, definitely.
Why'd you pick Lamellar over other types of armor to make?
It is cheaper. It is typically lighter. It's flexible. Ignore that noise. And it's fairly protective. So,
Do you know if you can get anodized aluminum plates someplace? Because that'd be kind of interesting to have a laser and I can basically burn off like the anodization. So like that'd be kind of cool to create a really complicated design on all of those, but I don't see anything like that.
I don't know. I did toy with the idea of painting my plates, and I might still do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually. There's a place in Ohio that does it. That's where I bought my plates from. Yeah, they're only 50 cents a plate to get them atomized. Sorry.
Ooh. Continue. Sorry.
So making lamellar isn't very hard. It's just time consuming.
Well, I agree. I have another question for you. What are you going to do about the shoulder straps? Are you making them out of the plates also, or are you going to use leather?
I was going to use leather. I might make some actual solder pieces if I have extra plates. I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to focus on chest and legs, and I'm just going to have I don't know the actual term for it. I'm just going to call it a skirt of lamellar. It's going to be several different free-hanging, I guess, sleeves of lamellar. So it'll offer protection on my legs when I'm running, but it won't restrict movement as much. So here's just 5 plates placed together, nicely and neatly on the front side. And again, the rounded bit will be on top. On the front side, it's look nice and neat. On the back side, you'll have it diagonal. And I use red on these examples because it'll be more visible in the video. And you can also melt the end of this because that's not really important, but I just left it. This is just an example. So here I have 2 rows of 16 already done, all the way over, and then on the back. So now I will show you how to lace those 2 together. So, excuse me. So you want the tops on top. So the rounded piece will be on top of the flat piece of the thing below it. Didn't really think about how I was going to position this, but you can see it. So let's see if this.
Are you gonna make it all one solid piece with the paracord going all the way through, or are you gonna have a gap with straps or something to tighten it?
I'm going to make a front plate and a back plate, and then have straps so that I could connect it, and so it could potentially be used by other people as well.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it can't wait to see it when it's done.
So once you have your strips, I did some basic math to determine how many I might need. It's just an estimate. It's also on my post in the Neverwinter Facebook page. But basically, strips of 16, 20, 10, 8, and 6 should cover decently well half of my body, and then I'll just be able to tighten it up on the sides. So you want to start on the back, like you did before. Go through the one closest to the end. Get this through. I just melted these quickly this morning, so they're not the best, but and then you also want to go through again.
How do you measure how much paracord you need for each when you do a section?
So that is a good question. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't made actual lamellar yet. I've just made a few strips. So I'm sort of guessing. I have been told that to relace a entire armor of a woman who is roughly my size took about 300 feet of paracord. That doesn't help me too much because I don't know how much goes on between this side, or how many goes between lacing the parts together, or how long each individual strip is. So I don't know yet. I will hopefully figure that out by the time I'm done making my armor, and I can make a much better guide. You want to go through the back, approach the front, and then same thing. The second one, it's mostly hidden, so you might have to move a few things out of the way to actually be able to reach it. The front, include back. Okay, so if you can see right there, it's sort of knotted. All you have to do is twist the paracord, and it'll straighten itself out. Now these plates are overlapped, and when I finish, they will be overlapped about halfway on each of them. Will be overlapped by something else. So getting to some of these holes, you can see like this one that I'm going for now is mostly covered. You should be able to just move it for now, and when you actually lace it, it'll be much harder to get to. But that's sort of the idea. It'll be tighter. Because of the overlap in the plates, it's actually stronger to stabbing or blunt force attacks. Slashing attacks aren't as effective with lamellar. Okay, I feel like the lighting got messed up a little bit, but that's fine. There it is, now it's back. So slashing attacks aren't as effective against lamellar because they're held together by either cloth or leather strips. And so if you slash, you could just cut that, which would start to unravel your whole armor. But because a bunch of overlapping plates means for less weight, you can get the same amount of protectiveness if it's stabbing or if it's blunt. It distributes the weight. All I'm doing is lacing now, so I'll keep you entertained. So lamellar is actually approximately 3,000 years old. the idea of Lamellar armor, at least. It was used by the Assyrians in the 8th century BCE. And so it is old, and it is also one inspiration for modern body armor, like bulletproof vests, where they have several plates. It's actually more like brigandine than Lamellar, but Lamellar was part of the inspiration, reportedly. I have no way of knowing if that's actually true, but it's on several academic websites, so I'm going to assume it is. And you're just going through the front and the back. It'll look neater connecting these rows together than it is to make the rows themselves. Because the back, you just form a straight line, and the front is also just a straight line all the way through. Whereas in the actual rows, the plates are vertical like this, although this is horizontal at the moment, but plates are like this, so they're vertical, and then on the back they're diagonal. And if anyone has any questions, now's the time to ask, because this is most of it. You just figure out how much you'll need, and then you lace them together. It's not that hard. It's mostly just time consuming, and trying to actually get the plates can be expensive, depending on where you order them from, or if you try to manufacture them yourself.
I have a couple questions. For the Lamellar itself, I've seen some people in SCA do leather etching on the outside of the Lamellar. Are you going to do that?
I'm not sure what you mean by leather etching. I will
like
have
edging.
Leather edging.
Oh, edging.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
etching? No.
Well, yes, I do plan to do leather edging and leather strips for the shoulders and as connectors. I don't have the
How would
leather
you
yet.
do that? But, I would be really interested in learning how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I have leather working tools. I don't have any leather currently, but I can pick up a few larger pieces, scrap pieces, probably from any of the retailers. Names going out of my head. What's the big leather place?
Tandy.
Yeah, Tandy.
That's what most people go to. It's just because it has physical stores.
Tandy, and then cut it, hopefully, and then just lace it in using the same holes. Just at the end, you see these are empty, so I can lace leather along the edges.
When you burn the ends of the Lamellar to make the needle and to make the butt of the Lamellar, when you do the end piece, what method do you recommend to use to melt the paracord? Because I see you have a torch, but when the paracord heats up, do you just use your fingers? Do you use a pair of pliers? What do you use to get like that needle tip to get through the holes?
I don't currently have a needle tip, which is why I was having trouble. If you look at the beginning of the video, when I was lacing with the red one, I don't have a needle tip on these. I just sort of cut them and melted them today. I try to flatten them a little bit, but I don't have an actual needle tip.
How many times have you burned yourself needlessly then? when you're trying to be like poke poke.
Um,
I've done that.
when I'm weaving belts and sasses, I burn myself quite a lot. But I haven't burned myself while making armor yet.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't. Yeah, just expect it.
What class do you plan to use the armor for?
Well, it will be 5 points when I finish. So, I mean, that would be warrior. I will probably use it when playing scout or, well, scout. I don't really like barbarian. So I'll probably use it when playing scout, as long as, obviously, I need to get a champion or Reeves permission because it'll be above my armor class. But I'm also a level 6 warrior. Ignore my dog whining. Stop it.
All right, you got to show us the dog, man. You got to do the dog tax.
Once he comes back in the room.
Oh no!
And he just walked away.
See the butt. There you are. Hello. Ah, the dog's
She or he is adorable.
So yeah, that is my Rottweiler. He is apparently very anxious about something.
Like if you had a pit bull, I'd be like, oh, it's a pity bull, like because he's being pitiful. But I don't know what a pity rot would be. Just aw, an anxious rot.
So again, right now, that's basically all there is to Lamellar. You just lace it together, and it's fairly simple to lace together. The issue becomes getting plates. And also, I don't know if you can see that well. I don't know how good this camera is, but these plates are awful scratched, and they came like that. So I might end up grinding and polishing these plates before I make my actual armor, or just painting over them, because you won't see the scratches in the paint.
Okay. Well, I have a question about that then. Okay, so I have a set of Lamellar that I bought like a million years ago, and I've had it in a bag full of oil for like 5 or 6 years now, because clearly I have enough projects that I just start them and go, and I'm done. When I want to paint, imagine that I want to paint them. I want to clean them off as much as I can, right? I don't want to use the word sand. Do I need to do anything to prepare them to paint them that you recommend?
So I would recommend getting them as smooth as possible. So the paint. You don't want to have any deep grooves.
If you stop talking, they stop.
You don't want to have any deep grooves, but you do want some roughness, because if your plates are completely flat, then the paint won't get in the grooves because there aren't any grooves.
Yeah.
So I would probably lightly sand the faces, but you don't want any obvious roughness, because then it could tear up your paracord that you're connecting it, or any number of other issues.
Cool. Well, thank you.
I also have no experience with this, so
That's
if that's
fine.
completely wrong,
I mean,
hey.
I don't know.
For the paracord, you say you use 502 paracord?
I use 550. 550 is going to be probably the most common that you'll find even in stores. It's what I use when I make the sasses and belts when I'm not using macrame. Because when I'm selling to SCA, macrame is considered period, paracord is not. And some people in Amtard prefer macrame paracord, so I make both. But I'm using 550 paracord because the width is pretty pretty good, fills up the holes, and so it's hopefully going to be nice and strong without risking rubbing and tearing and cutting the paracord up, so it'll last longer, we hope. So that's basically it. Oh, the lighting. What is happening with what? Can you see me at all?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Oh, okay, good, because I can't see on my screen.
I can see you.
Okay, so yeah, this is what it will look like. You have right around here, you have it going down, it going down, it going across. On the back, you'll see the diagonals and it going across. That's basically all there is. You just need to figure out how many plates you'll need, and try to make sure it's nice and even. I approximate that for my front and back of my chest, I'll need approximately 250 plates. I have 500 plates, so I'm going to be making, I don't know how else to say this other than a skirt of Lamellar, which will have 6 or 8 rectangles going down, so I can move around better and it won't restrict mobility, but it will still be productive, and I'll still get the 5 points. So that's about it. I know I have about half an hour left in the class, so if anyone, again, if you have any questions, I can talk about the history of Lamellar, I guess.
Sure. I mean, it doesn't have to be an hour long. It's cool. I mean, however long you want. It's all good.
Yeah, so as I said, Lamellar is about 3,000 years old, in the 8th century BCE, for the Common Era, and it was used by the Assyrians. That's the oldest that I think exists. That's the oldest I was able to find. So it's definitely, it's old, and because the plates are interlocked and because they are overlapping each other, it makes them stronger, because when you put force against it, it sort of evens it out amongst the many plates instead of in one area, which is actually the same sort of logic they used for sealed walls. I think that's about it. I don't
All
know.
right. That's good. This is a good class. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Are-
thank you
are
so much, bud.
Yeah, I
Okay.
really appreciate it. Now I got to figure out how to not be live on Facebook.
Yeah, okay. Nep, to measure for the paracord, what was recommended to me was, I'm doing the full body paracord, so it's only that little gap with the belt, not the front and the back, is to wrap the paracord around your waist 3 times. And that's about how much paracord. It gives you a little bit extra, but it worked out fine for me so far. I have about 4 strains done together. I can send you a picture if you want to see it.
Yeah, and when I'm making belts, the weft, the thing that goes in between the length of paracord is about 3 times the overall length of the belt. So that might, because it's going in and out much the same way, so that might probably turn out well.
I do like that you use the torch, by the way, because I use a lighter and I burn the shit out of my hand all the time when I do it.
Oh yeah.
So like I didn't know about the torch. I didn't even think about it. So I was like, I gotta fucking buy one of those off Amazon.
When I
We're
started
living
making
this.
belts, I was using this.
Probably a bad idea to say the F word.
Yeah, because I use that. I burn my fingers all the time doing it because I hand mold the tip because my hands are so big. I have to have the needle. I can't do it the way you do it because like
Yeah.
I just, it doesn't fit for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've,
man. Thank you for showing me that. That's something real cool. I'm really happy about because I actually ordered my leather strips off of Etsy. I can send you those too. I'm gonna borrow my friend's tooling stuff to put Cookie Monster designs into it eventually. I just got to figure out how to do that too.
nice.
Yeah, and this was $4, so it's
Nice. I gotta get one of me. I gotta get one of those.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna be on live on Facebook no more. Bye. And I'm gonna stop recording now.